Okay, so this video is to show you how to do the AI shape modes and the Pathfinders. So first things first is we're going to create a new document. Name it your last name, first initial, underscore shape modes. You only need, you only need one artboard, but you can leave it at 2 if yours is default to that. So this assignment is coming from the class website, and I will show you where exactly it is. It is located right here under assignments, and this is for the Pathfinders and shape modes. So the first one is the shape modes, the second one is Pathfinders. So as the instructions state at the beginning, in order to complete the following assignments in Adobe Illustrator, you must go to Window, which is the Windows menu at the top, select Pathfinder so that you can see the Pathfinder palette, and then it shows you how to save your documents here. It should be, your document should be named last name, first initial, underscore shape modes, and the second one should be AI Pathfinders after your last name and first initial. So here's the first sheet. Let's go into Illustrator. So in Illustrator, you would go to Window, and you would select Pathfinder. When this opens, you will see the modes that we're talking about. The Pathfinder tool palette is broken up into 2 sections. One is shape modes, the other is Pathfinders. So for the first sheet, you notice it says shape modes. You will be using only these 4 for the first sheet, which is the one with the yellow. That's this sheet, and it says shape modes at the bottom. You're going to draw a rectangular square and a circle, and I will show you how to do that. You will use the rectangle tool. Using the rectangle tool, you are going to draw a rectangle, color it blue. Then you are going to draw a circle, hold shift to make it an actual circle. And then what you want to do is, I'm going to shift this over a little bit, and then I'm going to change the color to yellow like it is on the worksheet. Now I have these 2 objects, and to make life a little bit easier, since you're going to have to do this 4 different times, what you would do, and I'll show you where that is. You see these are here 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you're going to want to do is go into Illustrator and copy this. So to do so, you'll do the select tool. You will draw a selection or a marquee around the 2 objects, which will select them both. You will then hold the Option key, and when you hold Option, you'll notice that a second arrow comes up that's white, and that's just telling you that you're able to copy or clone. These green lines you see show up on the side of the screen is just to help me keep everything in line. So now that we've done that, I want to select them all, and the reason I want to select them all is because I'm going to clone them right next to that area. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'd like to see what the difference between the objects are once I do the shape modes. So for the first one, you'll see it says Unite. Unite, add to shape area. This object will take on the attributes of the top object and will be merged, and it should look like this. So I'll go back to Illustrator. I will select the first 2 objects. I will go to Unite, which is here. If you hover, if you just put your arrow on top of it, it'll tell you what it does. When you click it, you now see that these 2 objects have become one, and it took on the aspects of the top object. So the second one, and they go in order, the second one is minus front, which means it's going to take away the object in the front and cut out the overlapping area, which says here, subtract or minus front subtracts foremost object from the group. So when we go back to Adobe Illustrator, again, we'll select these 2, we'll click minus front. For the third one, it says, I apologize, this thing is acting a little special right now. Intersect. Intersect traces the outline of the overlapping area. So it will leave you with just that overlapping area, which is right here in the image once you follow that directive. So I'm going to select these 2, go to intersect, and I'm left with just the overlapping area. Then I will go to the last one, which is exclude, and exclude is going to subtract the overlapping area. Now, the next thing you have to do, as you will notice here, is that they do letters on the side. Now, please pay attention to what I do as I do the letters. The letters are different. Now, for letters, you have to click the type tool. Then I want you to click here on the screen, and your letter is going to look like it's really small. So to change that, you'll go here to font size, change that to about, I guess, a 48. Then you're going to type the letter B. You can leave that black, and then you'll click the selection tool, and then click back on the type tool. Type a 7 on the other side, and you can select it and then change the color, and I'm going to make mine green. Go back to the selection tool and overlap them. Once you overlap them, watch what happens. If I select these two and I click shape modes, I get a dialog box that says the filter produced no results. Please select two overlapping paths. So what I have to do in order to make these paths, because as you can see, they're not paths yet. Remember, on objects, when you click them, you see the 4 anchor points. And if we use the direct selection tool, you can adjust those anchor points. Whereas on type, you can't do that. Type is not in outline or in paths yet. So to create outlines and to make them into paths, you have to select them. Go to the type menu at the top of the screen, select create outlines, and now you will see that your objects have changed. Let me zoom into it just a little bit so you can see it. Now you'll notice when I click on it, you can see the paths. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 paths. So now I can copy these down. Again, hold option 1, 2, and I want to do this again 3 times. And then I'll zoom out so you can see everything. When I select the first 2, I do unite. It takes on the attribute of the 7. When I select the next 2, do minus front, and you see that space is missing from the 7. The next one is intersect, and it only leaves that one little piece that's showing. And then the last one is exclude. So the overlapping area disappears. Now, ideally, you should be creating a second document to do the next sheet. However, for the sake of time and the video, I'm going to do these in one video. So for the next sheet, which is called Pathfinders, there are 6 different things you have to do here. So you can see the 6 different ones. Now please note that there's one that is slightly different from the others, and that's number 3. Number 3 has 2 circles instead of 1, and that circle must be the same color as the square. And the reason is because of the effect that we're going to do, and I'll show you what that looks like when we do it. So we're going to go back to the rectangle tool, create a rectangle. We'll make it red. And then we are going to create our circle. Here on top of it. And that is a little bit big, but it's all right. And we're going to turn that blue. Now what we're going to do is, again, go to the selection tool, select them both, and we need to copy these 6 times. So, well, 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now you should see it here 6 times. So the next thing we want to do is for number 3, we want to go ahead and add in that second circle. And again, we need to turn that circle to red so that it matches the square. And we need to also go to select. So make sure your stroke is turned on. Your stroke should be black for all of these. So just make sure your strokes are on. So what we want to do first is select them again, select them all, and we're going to hold Option and copy them in the next column. Yes, I do want to see you do this, so please do it. So you'll select the first two and you'll go to Divide. And if you notice on the page, it shows you that they're separated. So to do that, what you have to do is go back to Illustrator, deselect those objects by clicking on the white area. Click the Direct Selection tool, and you're going to now notice that, one, you can now see the red boxes framed through the circle. That reason is because you've just divided it into pieces like a puzzle. So now it's separate. It's not two whole objects, it's now three. Then we want to go back to the Selection tool, select the next two, click Trim. When you click Trim, again, you will go to the Direct Selection tool, and you will select those and pull them apart. Now, for this third one, you are going to click Merge, and you will notice what Merge does. When we click Merge here, you notice the outlines disappear. When we click the Direct Selection tool, the only piece you can now pull apart is the blue circle. These two pieces, the square and the smaller circle, have now become one. And that's because anything that is alike will merge together into one, whereas anything different will be separate. So that's why you see these two objects are now one. The fourth one, we are going to do Crop. And Crop takes away everything but the little overlapping area. Then, I'm still using that. Okay, so using the Selection tool, I'm going to go to Outline, and Outline will leave me with outlines of both objects. So don't be scared. If this happens, that's what's supposed to happen. And then on this last one, we're going to use minus back, and that subtracts the back. Okay, so next what we'd like to do is do the letters once again. And again, you click on the screen, you type your letter. My advice is make it another color. So on the sheet, they have them in red and yellow, I think. You can hold Shift Command and click somewhere else, and it will deselect. And you can click again and type the letters that you want. Again, that was Shift Command. I'm going to turn that one a yellowish orange. And now I'm going to select them and overlap them, put the S in the front, select the both of them once again, and go to Type, Create Outlines. Once I create outlines, I want to go ahead and copy this 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I have them 5 times, once again, if you look here, there are 2 S's that are on this merge one. So we're going to go back to Illustrator. And we are going to take this S, select it, hold Option, and copy another S. So there you have the 2 S's. Now again, we're going to do the same thing. The first one we're going to divide. When we divide it, click the Direct Selection tool. And then you might want to zoom into these a little bit, and then you do that by Command+. And the reason is because the closer you get, the easier it'll be since these objects are so small. And when you pull them apart, whoa, it didn't do it. Sorry about that. Hold them both, click Divide. Once you click Divide, you can now pull them apart into separate pieces. Again, the reason why you want to make it bigger is because you want to be able to select those pieces and pull them apart. So there you go. So all these pieces come apart. Ooh, that was the first one. That was my mistake. I'm sorry. Let's do undo. Okay, this is the one that I did the divide on, and that's why it didn't come apart, because I was on the wrong one. So I'll pull those apart. And there you have your divide. Now, on the next one, we're going to do trim. And trim will allow you to pull them away. This one again is merge. So what now has happened is the two S's have become one and the D is by itself. Next, you have crop once again, and it leaves you with only what you see there. For these two, you do outline, and you only have the outline of them left. And for the last one, you're going to do minus back. This is how you complete these sheets. Please make sure if you don't understand, you review the video again. You can replay these as much as you want. I don't have to say it to you. If you still don't understand after viewing the video, then you can ask me, but please view the video first. Once you save it, you're going to go to File, Save, and you have to make sure your where says Documents, or if you have a USB drive that you've plugged in, your device should pop up right here and you can click on it and then click Save. I hope this video helped you. Have a good one.